Man, we are so close to things getting very, very exciting in the crypto market. And these weekends, they tend to suck. They tend to be kind of boring. And today has been one of those days where we're seeing some profit taking, where we're seeing some retests and retracement in terms of SHIB and other assets in the crypto market. And now it's a question of, do we just have enough resilience to hold up before we get into the early part of the week where we have those higher times of volatility, where we can make those big steps forward? In fact, we're kind of doing what we did just a few months back. And I want to talk about that with you guys. Do also want to talk about a couple things that have stacked up over the course of the weekend. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So we've obviously started on a bit of a red note today. Hopefully that changes as the day progresses. But, I will say this. It's not really surprising that we're getting some red. You have to understand that not every single day is going to be green. There will be profit taking, especially when SHIB from last weekend to yesterday managed to put together a 21% move. Yes, this is from our Saturday candle close all the way up to the top of this move. That was 21%. That's a pretty exciting sign. That's typically what happens for SHIB. When we make these moves, kind of like what we did here in the early part of July, or even this move from the middle of July to basically third week of July, those are about 20% moves, and that's where you see some profit taking happen. Now, I have to say that the weekends tend to yield kind of some blah, right? Lower volume, not a whole lot going on, people taking those profits. And actually, this is exactly what we saw back here in the middle of July. Once we hit, basically the weekend, we kind of stalled out for just a moment, and then we accelerated in the following week. Is that what we're going to see? Well, I will say right now, SHIB is actually retesting its 20-day moving average after, 200-day moving average after getting a hard rejection at that 50-day. Understand that if things get, ugly today or tomorrow, we don't quite have this push quite yet. You could see SHIB come down to, 40134. You could see it come down to this big cluster of moving averages, which actually, if we take a look at both our EMA and our SMA, we're sitting right down here at about 40130 to 40127. Okay. Those ranges are 100% possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not getting bearish here by any stretch of the imagination. But I just understand that not every single day is going to be green. And I'm sure some people will try to twist that, but people can say and do whatever they want. I really don't care. Right here, we're in the midst of a bigger move across the crypto market because, again, we've kind of hit that point where we've reached a range where the sellers are pretty much exhausted and buyers are starting to take over the market. Now, that doesn't mean we're not fighting resistance, and I want to show you guys just a couple things here because right now BTC is actually building a nice big bull pennant, and it's looking like by the end of the weekend, by that weekly candle close, daily candle close, weekly candle close, BTC has to make a decision there. We obviously have Ethereum kind of just putzing around, prepping to make its next move to the upside. One thing I will say here, just we're building a little bit of a head and shoulders. It's kind of a wonky one with a crooked neckline, but we'll see if that yields any retracement. And we have flipped bearish on most daily stochastic RSIs. Now, that being said, many weekly ones have not flipped bullish yet. So what we're also seeing in terms of the shorter term time frames is it looks like a lot of assets are bottoming on the retracement. If we look at this hourly chart in terms of SHIB, you guys can see it's been a pretty solid block of selling since the early part of yesterday. So it's been just essentially a weekend of profit taking. And what is happening during this time is we've seen a big open interest surge actually to new record levels. I think right now we're at 200. What is it? $225 billion in open interest across the crypto market. And even SHIB is feeling a little bit of the sting of a huge amount of short interest that has in fact been open. We're at $255 million in open interest for Shiba Inu. And again, it's flipped back to heavily on the short side. So they're trying to push the market down. They're trying to take advantage of some of this retracement that we see with profit taking. Sometimes it works in their favor. Sometimes it does not, because the market can have a different idea. Different plan as we get into those higher times of volatility. Now, yesterday we did in fact see SHIB move up a slot. It did in fact flip Toncoin at one point yesterday too. So we were actually the 21st largest asset in the crypto market. And it seems like we're getting close to a moment where SHIB can start accelerating through many assets that stand between it and the top 10 yet again. 415 million in trading volume over the last 24 hours. Things have definitely livened up just a little bit. And that is despite, when we take a look here at the overall volume across the crypto market, $130 billion. That's a down day. Okay. So Shib volume accelerating, market volume decreasing. That's, the volume decreasing for the market itself. That just tends to be kind of a weekend move. So it's nice to see the average crypto RSI kind of reset. We're sitting in the neutral range in the Fear Green Index. So we have a lot of potential move to the upside still. There's a lot of and financial energy that still sits in the market that has waited to re-enter. And if we get into the early part of the week and we start accelerating towards the middle of the week because of the FOMC meeting, I mean, you could see things take off in a big way. And again, we could see Shib actually testing some of these highs that we had back here in July. So that's just kind of my assessment on that. Obviously, there's no guarantees. This isn't financial advice or anything like that. This weekend, I'm thinking is going to be pretty boring. Hopefully there's, barring any surprises, hopefully we don't get anything negative. It's been pretty quiet news-wise around the space anyways. It seems like everybody's laser focused on, what was the PPI report, CPI report, jobs report, and obviously now FOMC meeting. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you as always. We'll see how the day progresses. I hope that Shib continues to hold right around its 200-day moving average. Perfect bounce spot if we want to make a bigger, better extension here. So have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.